Alright, hey YouTube, Nate here with the MediaStomp.com. We got Anthony Stofferahn on the camera, and this is the iPad 2, which actually belongs to Anthony. This is the 16GB Verizon Edition 3G capable iPad 2, so let's just get right into the unboxing. Take off the cover here. And right on top we got the iPad 2. So it's very thin, 33% lighter. As you can see, we got the camera on the front and on the back. Very nice. So I'll get into that in a little bit. Right here we have the charger, which is the USB wall charger. And then here's the design by Apple in California, all the good paperwork you could ever want. Finally, the USB cable. So yeah, that's pretty much it. A simple Apple unboxing. So we'll go ahead and turn it on and get our first impressions. Very quick before we get into the first impressions, just quick overview. We got the 32-pin connector here, the volume rocker, this button, which I believe you can customize to either be a volume toggle or the orientation lock. Then we have up here is the 3G antenna. So if you have the Wi-Fi model, you're not going to have this big black bar on top. We got the camera over here, which is the higher megapixel camera than the front one. The front one is a lower megapixel just for FaceTime. And of course on top you have the sleep-wake button. So that's all. Oh, and then the headphone jack on the other side. So that's all you really have. It's a very simple device. Hopefully we will have it all synced up within a few minutes here. Alright, so while Anthony sets up the Verizon network, some first impressions. The device seems to be a little lighter, but both of us agree that it's not a huge difference. We really couldn't tell. We were just using them at the Apple Store yesterday, the older ones, and honestly it isn't a huge difference. Maybe some of you with better hands will feel the difference, but nothing that the weight itself is definitely not worth upgrading to the new one. Some new apps, obviously you got Photo Booth now. Open that on up, and as you can see you're given a selection of different things. We'll do a stretch, and you can kind of play around with your finger and stretch out different stuff. So there I am, looking nice. And with other effects, you got thermal camera, mirror, X-ray, kaleidoscope, which actually is not on the Mac that I know of, so that's pretty trippy. Then you got light tunnel, normal, squeeze, twirl, and stretch. So have fun with all that good stuff. Other than that, the only other major difference is FaceTime, which I'll demonstrate once I get the call going. Other than that, obviously the camera app's going to be a little different now because you can switch between your two different cameras. Obviously this one is just this table that the iPad's on, but if you flip around the camera, you'll see me again. So, and as I said before, this camera on the front is less megapixel quality than the one on the back. So those are the major differences, and like I said, I will demonstrate FaceTime. The new iPad can get GarageBand and iMovie on it now, which will cost you some money from the App Store. So let's go ahead and demonstrate a FaceTime call. Alright, so here we got the FaceTime call getting started. Go ahead and accept. Now they're both muted. So there's FaceTime. It's actually a really nice interface on here. I'll go ahead and end the call. As you can see, working great with the iPhone and the iPad. End the call, and as you can see, you got this nice little half and half thing. It's similar to the Mac interface for FaceTime. So here's his contacts. He can search, add a contact. Obviously, he only has one right now. He just got it. And there I am, my mobile phone. This can contact other iPads, other Macs, or other iPhones. Obviously, you do have to be on a Wi-Fi connection, not a 3G connection. One thing I do want to note while we both have these out, I did make a mistake before. I said this is 33% lighter. It's actually 13% lighter, 33% thinner, and it is actually really thin, and as you can see, it is thinner than the iPhone. Yeah, it's not a huge difference, but it's there. They're very close, but the iPad does taper, if that's the right word, which is a nice touch. So there you have it. That's pretty much it for the first impressions of the iPad. Obviously there isn't too much we can do at the moment. Once we get it going, I'm sure Anthony will do a nice, good review on it. The changes on it aren't huge. but they are subtle enough to make actually a pretty big difference. The inclusion of the cameras is great, and obviously the A5 processor is in here now, which is a dual-core processor, which is going to speed up the device a lot, but obviously you're not going to really notice it until you're doing some really intense multitasking or some really processor-intense programs on here. So that pretty much sums up the first impressions of the iPad. Thanks for watching, and expect a review on the MediaStomp.com sometime in the future. See ya.